Well, good morning, everyone. And once again, welcome to another live this morning. Hope you're having a great start to your day. I am. Okay, we'll wait for a few folks to say hi. And Wendy, your first one up this morning. Good morning to you. And Rosalinda, Niagara Falls. Good morning. Ray, how are you? Mike from Norland. And Rosa, good morning to you. And Nick from our staff, Linda, the real Linda, is it? Hi, Linda. John from Elgin. Brahim from Portland, Oregon. Annette, good morning to you. Kevin, Oshawa. And Zian, bonjour. And let's see, Claudie, how are ya? And Jeanette from our staff. Jeanette and Nick are on. Mary, good morning to you. Charles, how is you? Gloria. Gur from Burlington. Katharina. Jeanette, good morning. Leslie, Australia. Well, Leslie, good morning. Jane, T.O. Elizabeth, Chantal, Ottawa. Bonjour. Donna, Park Hill. Betty. And Yolande. Bonjour, Yolande. Debbie, good morning. Annette. Peggy, good morning to you. And Lynn, Halifax, Nova Scotia. And Anne, Moncton, New Brunswick, good morning. Cheryl, Dr. Johnny Club, my old buddy and the best chiropractor I've ever met. Delia, Judy, Nancy, Kapuskasey. Wow. Fran, Orangeville. Nellie, good morning to you. Francis Marie. And Deb from Detroit, Michigan. Doreen. Another one from Australia. Wow. Mary. Keith, how's my buddy? Bell River, near Windsor. Donna. Micheline. Debbie. Okay, couple more guys and we got to get going. Corey. Now, Corey, I read your testimony yesterday on, folks, we got to redo that one. What a story. Sherry. Jeanette, hello. Jackie. Belil. Doreen. Lorraine. BC. And Carol. Newfoundland. One end of the country to the other, and one end to the world, Australia, and to the other. Ita. Kelly. Another Linda. From New Brunswick, Mary Jane, good morning. From Connecticut, Deb. Susan. Okay, guys, thank you very much. And from Dayton, Ohio, Dawn. Wow. And Elizabeth. Debbie. Shedziak. And Diane, Thunder Bay. Yvonne. Okay, I gotta stop. Kathy, hello. Okay, here we go. Okay, so what we're going to do this morning, we're going to talk about, there was an article that came out probably last week on acne and dairy. Okay, so it was a study done, more of an observational study on people that had acne and then getting off of dairy. Okay, so now, let me just say this as we get started so you know where I'm coming from. Okay? Now, the number one allergy, food intolerance, food allergy, is milk. Okay? It's number one on the hit parade. And estimated that close to 70% of the population have some form of lactose intolerance. Okay? So, look, You got to figure that out. I always tell my patients, or at least I used to tell my patients, you got to be Dr. Mum. Okay? You got to figure out for yourself, see if foods bother you. The best way to do it is not to spend $500 or $600 on food sensitivity tests. Do it yourself. This is one of the things that happens with the reset, that people that get off foods generally find, you know what? I'm not near as intolerant as I thought I was. But you do the elimination diet, and you do that with kids. I used to do that with ADD and ADHD kids. Get, 90. Don't blame dairy for what sugar does. Don't blame dairy for what sugar does. Now, let me put an asterisk beside that, because I think it's very important you understand. I've always done this, and I want you to understand this. I separate milk from dairy. What? Yeah, I separate it. Because milk today is not milk that it used to be. And the reason that 70, I don't know if it's 70%, but close to that, have some form of lactose intolerance is because of what they did to the milk. Now, look, I'm not a farmer, but I'm the farmer's best friend. So I don't want farmers to get upset with me when I say this. Okay? Especially dairy farmers. But I'm telling you, this is the problem. When it comes to milk, in the grocery store, that milk has been completely denatured. What do I mean by that? It's not just, look, I think it'll never, I shouldn't say never, but you're probably not going to ever be able to go to, I'm going to say this, in a grocery store or whatever, and get unpasteurized milk. Okay? You know what I've said all along. If you have a cow in the backyard, drink milk. But otherwise, don't drink milk. I don't want you drinking milk. Milk's not good for you because it's not really milk. The fat has been taken out of it. And when you take fat out of milk, because if you milk a cow, I'm going to tell you, and in my childhood days, I remember it like it was yesterday, the milkman. We had the same milkman for years. And they deliver, and we'd have those little coupons, or they were, like you'd leave them at the door, and in the morning, the milkman, how many bottles did you want, right? But when you took that glass, and it was glass, you had to shake it. Why is that? Because it was half fat. The fat would rise to the top, and you had to shake it before you drank it. Okay? But today, you don't get that. You don't get that. Because the geniuses in the nutrition industry, in the food industry, all said this: we got a plumbing problem. What? Well, yeah, because when you have a heart attack, it's plumbing. What? Well, it's your arteries are clogged up. We're going to have to get, the plumber in to clean out your arteries because they're full of cholesterol. I mean, the guys, that took over the world. So what did they do? Even milk. Well, we got to eat fat-free, we got to drink fat-free milk. We're going to take we're going to have, I used to have patients come in to me. They only did it once. Well, Dr. Martin, I drink skim milk. I said, well, I feel sorry for you. Don't be silly. What? Well, that's not good for you. That's white Pepsi. Milk is white Pepsi. Because when you take fat out of milk, you denature it, you're getting nothing but sugar. And you want to know why 70% of the population have trouble with today's milk? They didn't have lactose intolerance in the 1950s. What? No. Maybe we were primitive. No, but seriously, it's a huge problem today. And in a way, I don't care if it's a huge problem. I really don't. Because you shouldn't be drinking milk anyways. Why do you want to drink milk for? I tell you what to do. Get off milk. You don't need it, and your kids don't need it. The only time you need carbohydrates in milk is when you're at mommy's breast. Breast milk. Perfect. Okay? Perfect. Perfect combination. It's almost all fat. Because a child is rapidly developing, especially their brain. And they need that fat in their brain. So mommy's milk is perfect milk. What God has done, that's what you do. And when man gets involved, a lot of times, not every time, but a lot of times, they mess it up. And they messed up milk. And that is why, yes, even this study confirmed that those who drink milk, it aggravates, I'm not saying it causes, acne. Aggravates it. I used to always get patients with acne or whatever off milk, but I wanted them off milk because of sugar. The milk sugar, lactose, off. Oh, I'm going to drink milk, doc, but I'm going to take an enzyme, lactase. Ooh. I said, why are you drinking that stuff? Don't let your kids drink it. Wean them on something. And when I see, a mustache, you can't see my, I should have drank some milk this morning. Well, I'd have to go find some. I don't have any in my house. And put it on my mustache. When they have that commercial and then you see athletes drinking milk or chocolate milk, it makes for a great electrolyte drink. Ooh, that gives me a splitting headache. It's full of sugar. The problem is sugar, guys. Even in milk today, it's sugar. It's not dairy. That's why you know me at the Martin Clinic. It's what? It's don't ditch dairy, switch it. And so when what lactose does, okay? Food intolerances. Lots of mucus. A lot of times I get, with kids with recurring ear infections, sinus infections, and they're always stuffed up. I tell mommy, look, get them off milk. They don't need it. If you're going to give them Dr. Martin's Perfect Smoothie with cream. Heavy cream. There's no sugar in heavy cream. There's enough lactose for a mouse in heavy cream. That's the difference. And there was someone that sent me an email, or at least to the girls, and the girls sent it to me to look at it, and then this child has got all sorts of bad skin and bad gut and bad sinuses and sick all the time. I said, well, number one, get them off sugar, and number two, get them off milk. Today's milk is white Pepsi. You might as well have a Pepsi for breakfast. You'd never think of giving your kid a Pepsi, would you? For breakfast? Well, anytime. No, No, but seriously. Cream, not milk. And I don't even want you drinking a lot of cream. If you're going to put it in a smoothie, yeah. And I want young people especially, and you want to make up a Dr. Martin's Perfect Smoothie. It is so good for you with protein powder. Especially, you know me, I like collagen. That's why I love bone broth. And it regenerates their gut. At the same time they think they're at McDonald's drinking a smoothie. You can put a few berries in it. And if they want it a little bit sweeter, put a little touch of unpasteurized honey or maple syrup for kids. A little bit. You want them drinking that stuff. It's good for them. But at the end of the day, it's not. This is why, guys, I talk about cheese all the time. Why do I talk cheese instead of milk? Because people put them in the same category. I eliminated all dairy. You see diets out there, and most of them, they'll eliminate dairy altogether. I don't agree with that. Now listen, Linda, listen. We all got different fingerprints, don't we? We're all different. And you got to figure out you. Okay? You got to figure out you. So some people, okay, like, you know what's number 2 on the list of allergies in terms of numbers? Is eggs. Now, people ask me every day, Doc, because they got cholesterol on their brain. Oh, I have a hard time getting people off cholesterol. Because it's just, you got to admit, like if, you know, people ought to win awards for marketing, right? Like you got to give it to the pharmaceutical companies who combined with the food companies to make cholesterol the boogeyman. And every day, 7 days a week, I get people telling, it's not their fault. Because their doctor, their dietitian, their gurus, you can't have too much of cholesterol because any food with cholesterol is bad for you. It's going to give you a plumbing problem. It's going to clog up your arteries. Now, I've taught you, and I'm sure I'll do it, Lord willing, 1,000 more times. Cholesterol is not the problem. Well, it is. It is. If it's too low. You want to die young? I'm going to give you a high five. I lowered my cholesterol. Okay, now you're going to die young. That's just a fact. The lower your cholesterol is, the higher your mortality. Now look, we're all going to die, but you're going to die earlier. That's just 100% fact. You need cholesterol. Now, back to cheese. Why do I love cheese? Why do I talk about it? Because it's exactly what you should be eating. Why? Because cheese is so good for you. Now, first of all, it don't have, now there's some lactose in cheese, but not much. Not enough lactose in cheese to make a mouse feel bad. If you're eating cheese and you're lactose intolerant, okay? First of all, if you're lactose intolerant, yippee, yippee, yippee-yi-yay. Good. Now stay away from stinking sugar, because that's what lactose is. It's milk sugar. Stay away from all sugar. You don't need it. There's never a benefit to eating sugar, ever. Now, I'm not telling you you're never going to have it, but you don't need it. But cheese, you see, is the perfect food. It is. It's perfect. Okay? Why is that? Because it doesn't have lactose. It has a little bit, but not enough to make you anywhere near having a problem with it. Because you see, cheese, that's what dairy should be. Cheese. Okay? Butter. Why do I love those things? Well, you don't have lactose in butter. So people do you ever hear anybody really, let's be honest. You know what? I can't have butter. You rarely ever hear that. You know what? You should cook with it. If you're going to eat vegetables, smother them in butter. Cheese. Like, I love broccoli and cheese. I love cauliflower and cheese. Not just the broccoli. I don't have too much of it, but when I eat it, I pour the cheese on, melted cheese on it. Because you see, that is, God put cheese together perfectly. Why is that? Okay? It's very high in protein. Okay? Talking about cheese. You could put this in butter too. High protein. Low to no carb. Really. And high in fat. Woo! Because guys, listen. When you eat cheese, okay? Because people think I'm eating cheese or I'm drinking milk, okay? Here's what people drink milk for. If you ever see an adult drinking milk, they like it. I know people that drink a quart of milk a day and more. And I used to poo-poo that. Get off of that stuff. But Dr. Randang, I need my calcium for osteoporosis. You know, my doctor. Oh, I get. You see how many splitting headaches I get in a day? When people used to talk like that. And I was never upset with them, okay? Never, because they didn't know any better. The problem with calcium in milk, it never gets to its intended destination. Where do you want calcium, guys? Okay? Not a trick question, but where do you want calcium? You want calcium to get to your bones and your teeth. True or false? True. The problem is when you're drinking milk, because it doesn't have vitamin K2 in it. It has a little bit, but not much. You see, again, nature, cheese, butter, perfect combination of calcium. That's why I don't like calcium supplements. I never liked that. I used to scream blue murder. Quit taking calcium supplements. Why? Because they're not getting to where you want them. Oh yeah, but doc, I'm taking Cal Mag. I don't care. If you don't have vitamin K2 to deliver the calcium to your bones and teeth, the intended destination of calcium. You don't want calcium in your blood vessels. You want to harden up your arteries? Drink milk. You want to declog your arteries? Eat cheese. Don't ditch dairy, switch it. It has that perfect, you see, cheese. And when I say cheese, butter too. Very high in vitamin K2. And that K2 takes calcium that you're eating in the cheese or in the butter, and it puts it where it belongs. You got that? That's why I put vitamin K2 in our vitamin D. There's a reason for it. K2, the Rodney Dangerfield of vitamins. It doesn't get enough respect because people don't know about it. They're thinking K1 when they think of vitamin K. That K1 is mostly in the plant kingdom. It's good for you. I'm not saying anything against it, but it doesn't do what K2 does. K2 literally brings calcium and puts it where it belongs. Does a lot of other things too. So when you're eating a piece of cheese, think about that. It's the way you're supposed to eat dairy and not drink it. Drink water and drink coffee. Okay, for you guys that love tea, you can have tea. Why would you have tea when you can have coffee is my... Okay? But guys, seriously, get away from drinking what you don't need to drink. Eat cheese. Eat butter. Put it on your veggies. Put it on your steak. Put lots of it on. It ain't going to make you fat. And it ain't going to clog your arteries. You'll get clogged arteries with sugar. Okay? Now, there's other reasons that I love cheese. Vitamin K2, the perfect combination of fat and protein. Perfect. Perfect. And like almost zero carbs. That's the way food should be. And then you got your fat soluble vitamins. God put them in the animal kingdom. So when you eat cheese and butter, you get vitamin what? A. Why do I love vitamin A? I want you to eat your vitamin A. Okay? I rarely ever give vitamin A as a supplement. And the reason is because I want you to eat it. If you can eat it, then eat it. and by the way, you get vitamin D even in butter and cheese. Now, you don't get a lot of it. The sun is much better. But when you don't see the sun, fat-soluble vitamins. And vitamin K2 is a fat-soluble vitamin. And you need that to absorb those vitamins. You need fat. And that's why it's perfectly in that nature. And vitamin A, by the way, is huge for your immune system. I've talked to you about this many a time. You know, now they in the United States, they got rid of the mask mandate, right, on planes and this and that. But I always have a mask on. What? Yeah, I always keep my mask on. Can't you see it? Look. It's even covering my eyes. I always used to laugh, you know, because you want to talk about science, okay? And I just want to say this, okay? And people have really like masks and all this and that. And I tell them, well, okay, just understand something, okay? When you touch your eyes, do you got a mask to cover your eyes? No? Well, you know. You touch your eyes, you're going to get in the gate. You got eye gate, you got a nose gate, you got a mouth gate. That's how viruses come in. And that's why I wear the invisible mask that you can't see. Every time I eat cheese, vitamin A, the invisible mask, zinc. Boy, zinc's got lots of ink. I like that. Zinc's got lots of ink. Nobody ever talked about, rarely did you hear people talking about zinc. Where do you find zinc? Eggs, meat, and cheese. Butter. Very high in cheese. Zinc. Why would you give up on dairy? Switch it. Don't lump in grocery store milk and cheese. Don't put them together. They're not the same at all. You like cheese? I love cheese. Eat it. Well, doctor, I get constipated. Okay, well then you got a little bit of an intolerance there, and don't eat a truckload of it, like me. No, but seriously, guys, seriously. It's so important. And you know what? Like cheese has potassium. Real good source of potassium is cheese and butter. I'm gonna do a program on potassium. It's really important. People talk about magnesium all the time, and that's the superstar of minerals. Trace minerals. Magnesium. And I love magnesium too, but potassium, people don't talk about it enough. It's really important to have potassium. And you need to eat it. There, you can eat potassium when you eat cheese and butter. Okay? Here's another one that cheese is famous for. Selenium. Selenium. I'll tell you something, folks, and I see it every day when I look at blood work, every day. People have sluggish thyroids. Now it's part of my category of hormones. You got hormones, and your thyroid, which is a puppet, got lots of strings attached. But nutrient-wise, it needs selenium. The problem with people today, I'm just going to say it, and I don't want to pigeonhole, but women, ladies, because you bought the lie of low fat. It's hard to change people's thinking. Low fat yogurt, low fat cheese, low fat everything. And a lot of, because fat, like cheese is it's calories. So, look at the amount of calories in butter and cheese. Who cares? That don't make you fat. It don't. Sugar, carbs. And you get selenium for your thyroid. If you want your thyroid to work properly, you need selenium. And selenium is found in very good amounts in cheese and butter. So very good food for your thyroid. Anybody tells you to avoid that, run. They don't know what they're talking about. So you get these studies. On milk. And then they put all dairy together. And you see, dairy farmer, if you're listening, I'm your friend. I really am. I'm not trying to hurt your business. There's nobody that supports farmers on a program more than I do. We need to get back to nature and get back to it and eat the way we're supposed to eat as much as we can, and avoiding as much as we can all those middle aisles of the grocery store, and get back to produce on the outside of the grocery stores, right? Get back to that. And like I said, milk, nah, you don't need it. You don't need it. Babies need milk, and they need mummy's milk. And when the day they come off of it, they shouldn't be drinking milk. Unless you have a cow in the backyard. Wean a child on water. Get them to appreciate water. Not juice, not milk, water. They'll eat everything they need for all their vitamins and minerals and macros. Drinking is overrated because you only need water and coffee. And it's all habits. I've seen over the years, like literally hundreds and hundreds of kids that we were able to change their habits. Get them off milk. Quit drinking that stuff. You don't need milk. You want to drink a perfect smoothie? Okay. You can have one. You can have that. No problem. But otherwise, drink water. You'll find out, number one, how much you like it and how good it is for you and what a habit to get into. And eat your cheese. You mean, Doc, I can have pizza? Take the toppings off. You can have pizza without the pizza. You can have the cheese and the pepperoni and the meat lovers or the vegetable ones, but don't eat the bread. Leave the crust there. I used to get kids in practice say, you see that pizza there? You're going to have it at school on Fridays. A lot of times that was the case, right? I don't know if they still do that or not. Okay? And see it? Well, leave the bread behind and have the toppings. Okay. Guys, much, much, much appreciated. All of you. We appreciate you very, very much. Now, you can share this. Okay? Anybody got any questions about dairy and the differences? Then send this to them. You can share it right on Facebook. Okay? And if not, it will be made into a podcast that they can listen to. The Doctor Is In podcast. Very popular. You can download it right on your smartphone. I'm not smart, but my phone is, apparently. I got a smartphone. Okay? You can download the Doctor Is In podcast on your smartphone. Okay? Now, what is Friday? Friday's question and answer Friday. And it's always popular. But it wouldn't be popular if you don't send me any questions. So send me your questions. Okay? It reminds me of my radio show days. Live. Question and answer. Every show. It was live. Okay? So, yeah, send in your questions. If you're not in our Facebook, like Corey, I think Corey, is it Corey Koskela, or I think so. Repost, Jeanette, Nicole, repost that testimony last night on the reset. Tremendous. And folks, encourage people on the Facebook group, okay? Encourage one another, okay? It's really good. What a great community there. Okay, guys, we love you dearly. I will talk to you soon.